Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking the video and subscribing to the channel are free and easy for you, and they help me out a lot. If you want to go further with your support, Patreon and YouTube membership offer access to the BoshNRoll Discord community, early access to lists, written content, things like that. You can have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use YouTube membership, you also get sweet badges and emotes integrated here into YouTube. You can support the channel while you shop at tcgplayer.com by using my affiliate link in the video description, and you can play any deck anytime by using a cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. If you want to wear your support, check out the merch store. And of course, thanks for being here. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today, at the request of Patreon subscriber Fee, I am playing a Paradox Zone Bant Brew. Paradox Zone, this is a commander card from earlier this year. This had a lot of heat on it coming off spoiler season, and then it never did anything in Legacy. Let's talk about this card. 5-mana enchantment, enters the battlefield with a growth counter on it. At the beginning of your end step, double the number of growth counters on Paradox Zone, then create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put X+1 counters on it, where X is the number of growth counters on Paradox Zone. So you spend 5 mana on this card, you move to your end step, it doubles the number of counters from 1 to 2, then you get a 2/2. The next turn, it doubles the counters from 2 to 4, then you get a 4/4, then you get an 8/8, then a 16, then a 32, etc. This ends the game very quickly on a stable board. The trick is resolving a 5-mana spell that doesn't instantly win the game and playing a few more turns after that in Legacy, which is a big ask in a format with Show and Tell and Doomsday, and just Jace the Mind Sculptor costs 1 less mana than this. It turns out 5 is a lot, even though this effect is undeniably powerful. Obviously, if you've met me, I put it in a Bant shell. The card itself is green, so that limits the wedges it could be in. I considered Rug briefly, but Swords to Plowshares and Prismatic Ending are just so good that I'm in on that, and here we are in Bant. I also had the benefit of Pokemoki recently tweeting a Paradox Zone build of Bant, and this is heavily inspired from that tweet. Pokemoki is responsible for the Dark Bant deck that I played at Eternal Weekend that I was extremely impressed with, and he basically tweeted that the fourth color isn't that important anymore, and having back to basics in your deck is worth a lot. And I've played Bant a few times on the channel recently, and I have said the same thing. I think I've released 3 Bant videos in the past 2 weeks. It's been a pretty Bant heavy run here, but I have in every single league said, wow, I wish I had back to basics. When I'm playing against a deck that has like 1 of each dual land in play, that literally happened, where my opponent had like Taiga, Underground Sea, Volcanic Island, Tropical Island, Savannah, etc. They were just all in play. Lands is extremely popular. The Ancient Tomb and Saga decks are all around. The Epic Storm doesn't even play basics anymore. Like, it's a good time to be back to basics, and it's a bad time to try to play fair against these decks that have no regard for mana constrictions. So back to basics is in to make it unfair for them, which is how it should be. Pokemoki's list had 2 Paradox Zone in the sideboard for the fair matchups, but I'm on a stipulation challenge here to play a Paradox Zone deck. I have cut Jace the Mind Sculptor. I made room somewhere else. I forget what card I cut from Pokemoki's deck, but there's 2 Paradox Zone in the main. That is the top end. That is the primary win condition. My plan, of course, with any Bant deck is to grind them down, run them out of resources, then stick a big threat that's going to win the game. I'm going to dance around with Icefang Coatls and Sylvan Libraries. We're going to fight over Endurance and Teferi. Uro is going to gain some advantage, eat up some Swords to Plowshares, and then at the top end is Paradox Zone. This playstyle should be very familiar if you've played Legacy at all in the past year. What we're doing differently is trying to sidestep the normal answers to our win conditions by playing Paradox Zone. As I tend to do with decks like this, I've packed the sideboard with combo hate. Got Canonist, Containment Priest, Meddling Mage, Blusterstorm, Surgical Extraction, Seeds of Innocence. Love this card. So glad that this is having a resurgence in Legacy. I bought a set of these a month ago when I first saw it popping up in lists, right after Eternal Weekend, actually, when I tried it. and I paid like $4 each, and I think this card is like $17 now. Like this is having a renaissance. It's time. Collector Oof, Veil of Summer, Run Afoul, perfect card for both Murktide Regent and Merit Lage. And I've seen Merit Lage having a resurgence lately as well. And of course, Carpet of Flowers and Mystical Dispute for the fair matchups, which we should already be heavily favored against due to Paradox Zone. There's not a whole lot of deck to tech here because Bant Control is entirely in the wheelhouse of this channel. We're just trying to see if Paradox Zone is as good as advertised. B, this is your Paradox Zone brew. Let's get into it. I'm on the play in round number 1. I'm going to keep this hand. It can cast Icefang Coatl, and it has a lot of removal. And we have turn 3 Uro lined up here. Unfortunately, don't have access to basic forest right now, which would really make this hand sing. But there are dual lands in the deck, and cantrips, etc. I'm going to have to get used to playing a deck without Loam. I'm used to just... Whoa. Well, I just clicked through my first turn, apparently. Yep, it seems that my mouse has reconfigured itself. I hotkey the 1, 2, and 6, the priority passing on my mouse, and it seems my mouse has decided to reconfigure itself and do the wrong thing. So we just got time walked for no reason. Let's see if we can recover, and I'll fix my mouse between games. Oh, there's Dress Down. That would normally be good at turning Emery off for a turn. I think I should exile this Mox Opal. And I want to do it off Savannah because I mentioned I'm looking for green mana anyway. This is really bad if they have a second Mox Opal in hand, but if I can slow them down at all, that's what I need to be doing right now. The Dress Down will be good eventually. I imagine this is a Saga deck. Or it could be a Hull Breacher deck. All right, they had the second Opal. Bummer. Just wasted my ending. They have 3 men instead of 4 this turn, so it's not a complete waste. Yeah, this would have been a great turn to have Dress Down up. They just saw the Icefang Coatl in my hand with Urza's Bauble, and they can Bauble again. I don't have a Hull Breacher or Narset in my build, so these Bauble grindy decks are actually just going to be really good. I can Dress Down in my end step, which turns off Emery for their turn. I don't think I actually want to do that. As dressing down a Thought Monitor or an Urza on the stack denies them a powerful trigger. Oh, there's Urza Saga. All right, now I definitely have to hold on to my Dress Down. Okay, I'm going to Dress Down this Thought Monitor. I know I just said I should hold on to it for Urza Saga, but I'm not going to beat an endless stream of cantrips either. They Emery'd targeting Lotus Petal in response. I don't know if they actually want that extra mana or if they just didn't realize they can Bauble me and then tap Emery to replay Bauble, all in response to Dress Down. I would think an extra card's worth more than extra mana on this board, but I don't know what's in their hand. Okay, yeah, Lotus Petal is just in play. Where's the Plowshares? That's a good one, taking out Emery. And I do have access to basic forest now. I think I should Uro and then plow Emery. I think that's the way forward here. Uro can race the Thought Monitors. Gonna have to fetch Tundra if I want to Uro next turn. No room for basic plains. Actually, that's not true because there's a forest in my hand, or an island in my hand. But then I would have plains up for next turn. Yeah, I'm just leaning into the Tundra. Take out this Emery. They can hardcast Forest due to that extra Lotus Petal. All right, they did not, though. Okay, Saga's ticking up. They're going to start making constructs. There is 1 more Dress Down and 2 Teferis, plus a bunch of spot removal in the deck to fight through the construct barrage. Uh-oh. Is it Urza time or is it Karn time? It's Urza time. That's bad for me. Yeah, this poor Uro is probably pretty far behind the curve at this point. The constructs are 7/7s, and they're going to have 3 of them very soon. Okay, I am going to cast Uro, leaving up white mana. I'm going to leave Dress Down in the graveyard because Endurancing myself getting Dress Down back into the deck is like a non-zero thing that might happen. Uro triggers. Oh, second Swords to Plowshares. That's actually awesome. I was going to say Caracas would be a great find, but so is Plow. I'm going to Plow Urza first. There is a basic Plains in my deck. I can ending one of the tokens, the constructs. They're going to float mana with their baubles and stuff, and then make another construct in response. Okay. Just left 2 mana floating. I'm going to pass priority. There's no reason to shove into this. The basic Plains end one of the constructs. Okay, I mean, Icefang Coatl does trade with one of these constructs. I can take 11, 12, maybe 13. I can take 13 this turn. They are pretty smartly not cracking their baubles. They've recognized they don't actually need the extra cards and the power and toughness. Like, keeping their constructs above 6/6 is really important right now. Shadow Spear. All right, yeah, that's a good one. Uh-oh, that's 15 damage. Guess they need another mana source before... Oh yeah, they can't equip Shadow Spear this turn. 10, they can put me to 2. I think being at 2 with Uro in play is still better than chump blocking for 10, because the Shadow Spear is lethal next turn anyway. Let's draw extra cards. Emery, good one. Hit Lotus Petal. Okie dokie. Need an answer to Shadow Spear this turn. I've already used 2 of my prismatic endings. I'm gonna Coatl first, so I have the most possible options when I brainstorm. 3 Uro. Is that actually good? Okay, I'm gonna brainstorm first before I attack, because if I find a Swords to Plowshares, then I don't have to suicide the Uro. I found the ending. What we were looking for. If I put back 2 brainstorms... No, I should put back Uro and brainstorm. Uro can put me up to 5 life. If I put back Uro brainstorm, I can fetch. All right, now we've just gotten into an even wilder possibility. I could fetch down to 1, prismatic ending this construct, and then get an unmolested attack with Uro. And then I have Uro trigger plus brainstorm to find Swords of Plowshares to Fairy, like anything that could answer the Shadow Spear. I'm doing that. Probably reckless, but I'm into it. I'm dead in so many directions anyway. I'm gonna swing for the fences. Like, Shadow Spear doesn't even matter. Just literally can't interact with this board. And the Shadow Spear gets through Coatl. That's what Shadow Spear does. I do not want to put this land into play. I want to pad my brainstorm a little bit. Brainstorm, I'm going to leave up all of my white mana. Well, there's Teferi and Swords to Plowshares. Yep. That's the play. Hope they don't have force. My plan here is to plow whatever picks up Shadow Spear, block a Thought Monitor, and then Teferi my way into the next turn, I guess. Shadow Spear is on the 10/10. I have to let that resolve. It gives them an extra life, but their life doesn't matter at this point. Mine does. Thoughtcast. And maybe I should have plowed in response to the Thoughtcast when I knew they couldn't have Force of Will. Go to blocks. Block Thought Monitor. Swords to Plowshares, the 11/11. Hope their hand isn't Force Blue card. Okay, it wasn't. I go to 1. All right, we're treading water here. Lotus Petal. They have 1 card left in their hand. They can cash in 3 baubles to draw 3. They just saw that Teferi Time Raveler is the last card in my hand. And they saw that Forest is on top of my deck. Or is it other Teferi on top of my deck? Either way, Teferi Forest are the top 2 cards in my deck. Yeah, they're just spewing off all their baubles now. Draw all the cards they can get. Because I have somehow stabilized this board. I'm actually still down on board to just their attacks. Okay, so they saw the backup Teferi. Let me cast the first one, see if it resolves. I'm going to clear Emery out of here first. More worried about that. Here's the Forest. Uro puts me out of attack range. Okay. I could Coatl now, in case I draw a sorcery speed thing. Or I could try to ambush in combat. That doesn't make sense. I'm Coatling now. Another land. I don't think I want another land. How much does Thought Monitor cost? 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they can easily replay Thought Monitor. Does that matter compared to having a stable board with Teferi? Right, I'm going to pass the turn. I'm going to save my second Teferi. If they want to kill my existing Teferi, it's going to cost them their Thought Monitor due to my Death Touch blocker. And this backup Teferi can push through a Construct token or an Urza Saga. Sai's really good. I do not have a plan for Sai. There is not a sweeper in this deck. I tried to find room for one. I actually looked really hard for ways to make Paradox Zone more interesting. Like Hour of Reckoning is a Wrath of God that only kills non-token creatures. There's some options like that exist, but none of them were actually legacy playable, not by a long shot. Ooh, that Pithing Needle's really good. They get to name Teferi and also get a card out of my hand because they know that the backup Teferi's in my hand. They saw it with Bobble. Which also means they can ignore the one in play and just attack me. Chalice of the Void for 1. That's bad news. My good answer to that is Teferi, which is Pithing Needled. And my answer to Pithing Needle is the Prismatic Ending, which there is 1 of left in my deck. I don't think they attack here, not until they can equip Shadow Sphere. Yeah, didn't think so. They know what's on top of my deck. I don't. Well, that one... There's better spots for a card like that. Here comes Uro. Put me to 7. And drew a Force of Will. I don't think having this Flooded Strand in play matters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have a lethal attack even through my blocker next turn. I play Library. I'm holding up Force of Will, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, they have exactly lethal with Shadow Spear. It doesn't matter what creature they put it on. I guess if they put it on a Thopter, I can block the Thought Monitor. If they put it on Thought Monitor, I lose. It's disappointing because of how close this game is after I time walked myself on turn 1. Like, if we play this exact same game, but I'm, like, my third attack in with Uro instead of my second, and, like, Uro came down before Sai, and, like, Force of Will would have been in my hand a turn earlier. Endurance would have actually stabilized this game right now. Just eat the Thought Monitor. But obviously I don't have Endurance. Dead for Xaxes after time walking myself on turn 1. Okay. Time for the sideboard. Seeds of Innocence, this is what you're for. Collector Oof, this is what you're for. Mystical Dispute hits basically every card in their deck that matters. Back to Basics is actually really good here. Canonist isn't great because all their spells are artifacts. Veil of Summer, medium. Endurance is solid against Emery and their fair plan. Don't think I really want Run Afoul. Like I just like kill a Thought Monitor that already drew 2 cards. That doesn't sound good. Meddling Mage can name Urza or Thought Monitor or like whatever I'm most worried about in that moment, but that's a pretty low impact creature on the board in this matchup. What do I cut? That's going to be the hard part. Every card is good. I think Sylvan Library has to be part of the cutting. Icefang Coatl. I'm bringing in Oof and Endurance as far as like challenging the board goes. Don't really want Force of Negation. They're a Chalice deck, but a lot of their actual cards I care about are creatures, so I can go lower on Force of Negation. I'm bringing in Mystical Dispute in that spot. This is 5 for 5. Can I do better? I want to leave in the Paradox Zones because Paradox Zone can actually keep up with constructs, which nothing else in this deck is capable of doing. Maybe I'll just play 1 Back to Basics and leave in a Sylvan Library. I think I like that. Yep, I'm going to do it this way. Let's go. I am going to keep this hand. It doesn't have any of the super sexy hate cards in it, but it does answer Chalice of the Void. It does cast... Oh, fuck, I did the thing again. I was busy thinking about my opening hand and just hit the button. Sorry, everyone. This is not the quality that you came here for. Just becomes such second nature to click the button when you want to move through a phase. I guess I'm forcing literally whatever this is. Either grid. How quickly does this kill me? Have 2 artifacts, so deal 1. I'm going to try to race this. Okay. I mean, wish I had a land in play, but here we are. Okay, I'm going to play my Caracas, because that can answer Emery Urza Psy sort of business if they have any of that. They're going to ping me for 1 on the way out here. I can exile Ending on turn 3, or turn 4 now. the third turn where I actually play Magic this game. There's Saga. Guide Lantern. Okay. Uro can become a draw engine if I cast the front half and then bounce it with Caracas before it goes to the graveyard. Alright, I think I actually do have to force this. They are almost well, they are empty. They have the 2 baubles and the Soul Guide Lantern that can draw new cards, plus Urza Saga is happening. So, like, they're never really empty with this deck. There's the zone, right on time. I'm going to Prismatic Ending their Soul Guide Lantern right now while they can't draw a card. Or, actually, they only have 1 blue source, and it's Mox Opal. I'm going after that. I'm going to hit their Opal. They can ping me for 2. Next turn, I can exile their Aether Grid. Soul Guide Lantern. And I just pitched one of my 3 Uros to Force of Will. That's not really the plan anymore. If Uro was still in my hand, I would have gone after Lantern. I really am like a dress down away from stability here. Even back to basics is good here. The 3rd Prismatic Ending. Okay. I have to play Tundra. I have to fetch Forest. Blue, white, green. They're going to ping me for 2 on the way out. There's kind of an interesting tension there where they probably wanted to draw some extra cards, but I guess with Saga they don't actually need to. Like right now, I need to find Dress Down. I'm going to take 7 from this construct right now, put me to 6, which even if I answer this construct, the other one will be lethal next turn. Oh, they didn't make a second construct, they just floated mana. Turns out exiling that Mox Opal was good. Had Foundry in their hand. Okay. Oh, the second Aether Grid. Shit. Well, we're running out of gas here, team. I'm at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm at 1 on board. Oh, can't play that. Have to end the construct. I'm dead to that. And their Ancient Tomb can make a servo next turn, so I'm literally dead. They can just ping me for... I guess they have to tap Retrofitter Foundry to ping me, then they can't make a servo. Well, I have to draw the 4th Prismatic Ending right now, if I have any chance at all. I can't even cast Seeds of Innocence because I don't have double green. That is too late. I needed that last turn. If I could have dressed down into Prismatic Ending. But no, we're dead. Okay, I will fix my mouse. I am sincerely sorry for the compromised quality of this match due to technical issues. Just time walked twice, and the games ended up both being really close. GG's. I'm gonna go fix my mouse. It's round 2. I have fixed my mouse, which was weird because I literally just opened the app that manages my mouse buttons and everything appeared to be correct. I don't know what happened there. Also, I don't know why it would change my key that passes priority once to passing the turn completely and not just do nothing. Like, why would it default F1 to F6 instead of, like, you know, just nothing? Just, oh, nothing happened. Fucking whatever. All right, let's play some Magic. I have Island Ponder. That's a keep. Looking for that 3rd land for Uro here. And then we're in business. Coatl. 3rd land for Uro. Brainstorm underneath. Cool. I'm going to put Coatl in my hand. That gives me the most options to pitch for Force of Will if I do end up needing to pitch for Force of Will this turn. Oh, this deck again. All right, Redemption. Possibility of redemption is live. Emry. I am not prepared to beat Emry. And I have this nice Ice Fang Coatl that doesn't do a whole lot for the matchup in my hand. Oh, okay. It is not this matchup again. This is a different thing. Okay, finding white mana for this Prismatic Ending is going to be a big deal. I'm going to Brainstorm, try to find a fetch land. All right, we got there. I can put back Forest and Coatl. Because I'm going to fetch Tundra here to exile. Yeah, okay, so here's the test. I can exile Grindstone, just take that pressure off. I can exile Opal, try to get clever. All right, I'm going for Grindstone. Just going to play safe. I'm a Paradox Zone deck. My deck is literally built to make it to 5 mana and then play several more turns after that. I'm going to take the safe play basically all the time. There's Saga. That's another grindstone whenever they're ready for it. Oh god, and they had the Painter too. Tough crowd. Oh, okay. They just have all of it right now. They had 3 grindstones functionally. All right, my deck does play a lot of removal. Brainstorm, let's take it home. Find me a Swords to Plowshares. All right, we got there on Swords to Plowshares. I'm going to put back Ponder and Forest. I'm going to cast Swords to Plowshares on this Painter. They have 1 card in their hand. All right, good. Jeez. The Painter is the important one because Saga has so many routes to Grindstone that removing Grindstone isn't particularly reliable, but taking the Painter out of play is actually huge. And now we just have to deal with the Urza Saga deck. No big deal. All right, Uro's about to draw Ponder, and their Saga's about to pop if they have a Soul Guide Lantern in the deck, which they probably do. They can just get it, and Uro's off the table. I'm in the Brainstorm market currently. Or Brainstorm, the Dress Down market currently. There's Brainstorm. I already have Brainstorm, though. I don't need another one, and I don't want these 2 lands. I want Dress Down. Nothing more, nothing less. Coatl does trade with one of the constructs. They do have 5 mana, which is the magic number to draw Painter's Servant and activate Grindstone at the same time. But they clearly don't have Painter because they went for the second construct. Retrofitter Foundry. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that compared to a Graveyard Hate card. Or Shadow Spear. Emery's horrifying. They milled Lion's Eye Diamond and 2 Urza Sagas. Alright, so there's 1 Saga left in the deck. They are good on mana. That's not going to be the pinch point in this game. Come on, Dress Down. Okay, I can jam my land and escape Uro, but that doesn't work because I need to Coatl this turn. I'm going to Brainstorm first. I'm extremely interested in finding a Dress Down. Get rid of Savannah and Paradox Zone. I don't want that till later. Fetch. Am I going to play towards... No, I don't think I have the luxury of playing towards a Back to Basics this game. Ponder off of the Tropical Island. Find a second Coatl. I'm going to shuffle this. The Coatl's fine. The rest of the cards were terrible. Blue-green. I could still draw a Prismatic Ending now. All right. 8, 9, 10. I could easily die here. Am I dead on board? They can make an artifact with Emery. They can make an artifact with Retrofitter. They can put me to 1 on board. All right, that's 9. With the LED, they could push for 1, 2, 3, untap. Yeah, they can untap, but if they use the LED, then that's not in play. Okay. They can put me to 1 in 2 different directions right now. Block. Okay, I'm at 1. Facing down a lot of creatures. Force of Will was my draw. Not great. I think I have to Uro here. Well, Teferi can clear the 9/9, but it doesn't gain life, and they have at least 3 1/1s they can still attack with. So the life off of Uro, I think, is too important here. Here comes Uro. If I draw Swords to Plowshares or Prismatic Ending, we're actually in good shape. That did not happen. I can take a beat from the other creatures, chump with Uro, re-escape Uro next turn. Just tread some water. Okay, they did use their Lion's Eye Diamond to supercharge their Retrofitter Foundry, discarding Mox Opal. Making another servo. Okay. We planned for that. I can't Force of Will because I'm taking 3 if Emery attacks, and I think Emery should attack. Oh no, they're tapping mana. Don't do that. Well, if I force, I'm dead on board. Maybe they won't attack with Emery. Do they want to bet against Swords to Plowshares, I guess, is the question. Alright, no fear of Swords to Plowshares. I'm dead. They found the attack. There was like a reasonable world where maybe they think Emery shouldn't attack, but yeah, just they had lethal and they knew it. We spent way too much time in the early game there fighting over their 3 grindstones and painter. That was not a good time. Endurance, Seeds, Mystical Dispute. We've seen this before. Collector Oof. They named red with their painter, which there could be some level system where I hit them with a Hydroblast after they paint, but I didn't see any red cards straight up, so I don't think that's going to be what I want to do. A Force of Negation, not the most important thing. Swords of Plowshares, Prismatic Ending, very good. Library, maybe I don't need the 3rd Endurance. It's not actually super important. Teferi's good. Force of Will is good. I mean, this deck has the extra combo angle, where the previous one just buried you in cards. I think I have to cut a zone. I'm playing this against the combo deck. Sorry, zone. I'm trying to showcase you here. It's just not working. Sylvan Library is so good on turn 2 and so bad on every subsequent turn. All right, I'll go down a Force of Will also. I have these other hate pieces in, other ways to interact now that makes that not as important. That's what I'm going to do. I think playing to the board is a reasonable plan. And I do still have 3 forces plus Mystical Dispute. It's not like I'm just shields down. This hand's pretty good. I'm not getting painted, that's for sure. Gonna need a 3rd land, but once I find it, we're in business. Seat, Opal, Battle. All right, Emery's online. There she is. Milled a painter and a 2nd Emery. There's Grindstone. Okay. All right. Even though it is my plan to cast Back to Basics, I still think I need to get a non-basic here. Ooh, that's fun. Could exile Mox Opal and slow them down. I'm doing that. All right, get rid of that. Hope that was the right call. Because fighting over the Grindstone like I did last game, they just have so many of them. They have the Urza Sagas to tutor them. I'm really just not sold on that. Lion's Eye Diamond, okay. So if they have a painter in their hand, they can try to combo me right now. All right, well, if they go for it, they have to discard their hand off LED, and I can plow in response. So we're actually fine here. Okay, cool, they're going for it. Oh, they're thinking about it. All right, yeah, they're going for it. Gonna fetch Savannah in response. And get you with the plow. The things aren't the same color anymore. Milled over my Sylvan Library, didn't want that anyway. And I'm holding Endurance, which is just insurance against getting milled out anyway. Okay, they packed it up. They realized that they are hellbent with a Grindstone and a single land. And that's the whole plan right now. Okay, with the Lion's Eye Diamond, I mean, we saw it game 1, but the fact they were willing to jam it and just go in game 2 makes me think that Force of Will, I might actually want that back now. Sylvan Library is even worse on the draw, and I didn't really like it on the play. I have my Back to Basics in, and all my Force of Wills. Yeah, Endurancing myself to get another turn. I forgot about that angle until it was right in front of me. Just having Endurance in hand could be the difference of tucking my deck back into my deck and then casting a Sorcery Speed removal spell. All the removal is important. Dress Down is important. Yeah, I think I only get to play 1 Back to Basics, even though it is insane for the matchup. Okay, this is what I'm doing. Oh, Meddling Mage should be in this deck too. I think after playing last round, my brain was just not in the right spot. All right, I'm going to keep. Meddling Mage on Painter Servant is extremely effective in this matchup. I got the Seeds. First appearance of that. Seeds with Force backup. I like our chances. If I could cheat and make my opening hand whatever I want it to be, it would be this hand, but the Uro would be Swords to Plowshares. So we're a 6 out of 7 of a cheaty hand. Perfect cheats. Painter. I do want to fight over Painter. They're just coming out way too hot. I want to slow it down. If that was Chalice of the Void, I would have let it resolve. That's just not the fight I'm trying to fight. I'm going to get Tropical Island to start. Because I'm going to need double green sooner than later. Oh, that was great. Waddle on the bottom, Oof in the middle, Force in my hand now. I can Force if I need to. I can Coatl next turn, and I can drag the game out with Coatl until Seeds of Innocence just gets to clean house. I'll just passing. I am going to fetch a basic island. There is still a back to basics in the deck. Oof. Brainstorming in response, digging for that Force of Will. They know this one's a banger. I will fight over this, by the way. As long as Oof's in play, I really only have to worry about Urza Saga, and Seeds of Innocence can clean that up. Force pitching Force. Force pitching Brainstorm. Oof has arrived. There's the Saga. Ready for that. Kinda. As ready as you can be. Not really ready for Karn. I think they have to plus Karn this turn. Yeah, they just plussed Karn. Put some loyalty on it. This would be a great turn to draw back to basics. Just, that can fetch basic Forest. I'm gonna play the Flooded Strand, though, and put some pressure on Karn. What happens if they go, like, Ancient Tomb minus for Lattice, then Karn's at 2 and I just attack it? So I'm not in Lattice danger right now. Oh, and I have Collector Oof in play. If they Lattice, then we're both just in the hellscape, but I have a 2/2 and they don't. So they can't Lattice. They can. In fact, please do, but it's not a good idea. If they make one construct, oh, that's actually really bad. Yeah, if they make a construct and then Lattice next turn, I am behind on that game. Yeah, I need, oh yeah, there it is. That I was about to say I need something good here, and that was it. I'm gonna attack Karn. They're gonna make a dead. I'm just gonna fetch my Forest right now and cast Dress Down. Dress Down does awkwardly turn off Oof, but unless this Mox Opal is really doing something special this turn, I don't think that matters. So there's 0/0 dies on arrival. Karn goes down to 3. I can ponder now. Uro, Flooded Strand. Do I want Uro? Not really. This is a shuffle. Okay, Brainstorm, not unhappy to see that. But if they make the creature, then they don't have enough mana to Lattice. This is probably going to be the Seeds of Innocence turn. Got a Retrofitter that they can't activate. Bauble that they also can't activate. Yeah, this is cool because they're incentivized to pile out their artifacts now due to the construct, which just sweeps them up into the seeds. Caracas, is that good? Probably not. I'm going to Brainstorm first and then decide what else I'm doing this turn. Oh, Ending is a good one. I will hold on to the Caracas. We've seen Emery out of their deck. Caracas, and then we get to Seeds here. Bang. And attack Karn again. Cool. They for sure can't Lattice now. Just killed 4 permanents and they gained 1 life. Brainstorm action. These Ancient Tombs have also been not free this game. They're down to 12. Brainstorm did not find what they were looking for. All right. Amazing what can happen when you take all your turns. On to the next round. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. On the play for round 3, Island Ponder Keep. Jam it. Even have the turn 2 Sylvan Library. In most of my deck building, I've replaced Sylvan Library with Light from the Loam, so it's been a very long time since just riding turn 2 Library into the sunset was something that my deck was capable of doing. We're playing against Emra Cool, Kool. That's a great username. I don't know who it is, just saying. They mulled to 5. I would like to find an Endurance off this Ponder, I think. Like most decks that are mull to 5 are ones that you want 0 mana interaction against. Like, they could just be unlucky, but it's much more likely that they're doing something busted. Ugh. There's Force, but I don't have a blue card. I think I have to shuffle this. Okay. Sylvan Library's got to save me here. Told ya. It's oops all spells. Perfect. They wasted time thought seizing me. My hand already sucked. But they take the library, which was the only thing I had going on at all. Come on, Brainstorm. I need a Brainstorm. That can just totally fix his hand. Uh-oh. Well, maybe they'll have an awkward hand that can play Undercity Informer, but can't activate it, and I get to plow it. I don't know. I don't feel good about this situation. Dress Down would have been an insane draw there. That's a one single card draw on 2 mana that really changes the texture of this game. But instead, we will die. Valrit's good for 3. That gives them the 4 mana they need to do this. Let's just get a look at their deck before conceding. Oops, it's all spells. Yep, Oracle, Bridge, Ball Therapy. Yeah, all the normal stuff is here. All the things you'd expect. Where is the Dread Return? Oh, it's right here. Yep, all right. Gang's all here. My read was right that I needed an Endurance off of that Ponder. Unfortunately, I kept my hand before they mulled to 5, because that's how mulligan decisions work. Okay, Priest, Canonist. Surgical. Even Collector Oof is reasonable. Veil of Summer, very good. Endurance, very good. Flusterstorm, reasonable. Meddling Mage, good. Mystical Dispute. Do I bring in literally anything that can counter a spell? Like if I do survive the first wave, just paying 3 to cancel something sounds reasonable. Mystical Dispute also hits the what's it shit? Pact of Negation. Sorry, Paradox Zone. Listen, I do my best to feature the cards in my stipulation leagues, but when you're playing against Oops All Spells, a deck that's trying to win the game on turn 1 all of the time, the 5 mana enchantment that requires you to play several more turns is not what you're looking for. Back to Basics is a blue card. Like, cutting all of the white removal should be fine. A Prismatic Ending, in case they have like Defense Grid or that sort of stuff, is a thought. But we're basically weighing always having a critical mass of blue cards to pitch with Force. Like in that last game, my Ponder did find Force of Will. I just had no blue card to go with it. That's non-zero. Any green card or blue card you cut hurts your Force and Endurance pitch capacity. So just shaving off all these white cards, I think, is just the right play, even if Prismatic Ending is probably a little better than Back to Basics, just on their printed face. Uro and Coatl are peas and carrots here because they're both blue and green. They pitched either of my things. Yeah, I'm going to go in like this. Okay, keep this hand. I'm going to Flooded Strand go with this hand. That gives me Flusterstorm and Force of Will. And usually 2 things is the number of things that you want. 1 is not enough, but 2 I feel okay with. And I'm not going to Ponder this turn. I'll hold up Flusterstorm this turn and then Ponder to hit a land drop next turn. And just always leave up Force Fluster as long as I can. This might even be a situation where I want to Brainstorm in the end step if they don't make me Fluster. Though, what hand did they keep if I don't Fluster this turn? Elvish Spirit Guide, Sanded Swarm. Okay. I have to Force of Will that. I'm going to pitch Uro. I did cut all my answers to that card. Now that Flusterstorm is my only protection, I actually do want to Brainstorm in the end step here. I think I'd rather have green than white if I have to choose. Okay, that was great. Put back Uro and Ponder. Then I'm going to jam Canonist and just hope that this works. Leaving up Veil Fluster is also probably really strong. Okay, cool. Now I have Canonist and Veil Fluster, and I can Ponder. Yeah, we're in good shape here. Ponder. Back to Basics, LOL. I don't want Back to Basics at all, ever. I'll put the Brainstorm in my hand, and then I'm just holding up Veil or Fluster. I can't play both because of my own Canonist, but you shouldn't need both. Especially when your opponent can only cast 1 spell a turn. Well, they have artifacts in their deck, but their rituals are also important to them. I'm not going to Brainstorm right now. I've already used my land drop. I know my top card's Back to Basics. I would like to Brainstorm that away with a fetch land next turn. They're going to clean up now. Discarding Narcomoeba. Now it's a Brainstorm. Back to Basics is out of here. And I'll just put Ponder on top. Not necessarily shuffling it away, but don't need it right now. And I can flash in Priest, because this card has flash. I think the Priest will end the game. Like, if they keep playing through Priest and Canonist, they're very brave. Okay. They seem to want to keep doing this. I can do this all day. That was a Captain America thing. Force of Will, Endurance, okay. Putting Endurance on top, because that's also a threat. Just shaving time off the clock. They could also just be farming information right now. Like, if I draw Meddling Mage, I'm not going to play it, because I think I've already won, and I don't want them to know they have to beat a Meddling Mage. I'm going to cast Endurance. Let's just speed the clock up. Target you, just in case you want that Cabal Therapy or Narcomoeba. Maybe tucking their Narcomoeba is actively bad, because now it's in their deck. And in come my Jerks, and I'm holding up Force. I don't even know what their outs could be. I'm trying to think of like a card in Magic the Gathering that could get them out of this. Oh, we're about to find out. Chump block with Wild Cantor, that's the play. You still lose to that. I'm still attacking for more than their life total. Sack it for black, but they've already played a non-artifact spell this turn, so Canonist. Yeah, this is non-artifact, not non-creature. Alright, cool. Didn't even have to show them the Force. Or the Veil. Now that we've seen Xantid Swarm, Prismatic Ending, I think, is better than Back to Basics. Even with the blue count consideration, there are a lot of blue cards in the deck, but if I have a card that is largely irrelevant, and I could switch it for a card that is only mostly irrelevant, I'm going to take that switch. Being on the draw, I'm going to need my blue count even more than I did on the play, but Prismatic Ending giving me another out to Xantid Swarm feels good. Dress Down and all of my Hate Bears are also outs to Xantid Swarm. Teferi can bounce it. Just trying to think of how many answers I need to this thing. I'm actually going to cut Mystical Dispute for another Prismatic Ending. Who Run Afoul also gets Xantid Swarm. While being green. Okay, I actually like Run Afoul better than Prismatic Ending because it's green for Endurance and also answers Xantid Swarm. Yeah, let's do that. Uh-oh. I have to mulligan this. Oh god. It's so bad. I have 8 turn 0 interactive spells. Or 9 with Surgical. I gotta keep chasing. Jesus. Okay. I'm gonna try this. If I put back Brainstorm and Coatl, Dress Down does brick their combo. Run Afoul can answer. Xantid Swarm. I don't love this. In Veil of Summer, only stops their disruption. Okay, I actually think it's Veil and Coatl. Alright. This is not the game for you to YOLO me. Please, like, take a turn to Thoughtseize or something. Okay, I'm getting Thoughtseized. They probably take Brainstorm. And then I draw Surgical Extraction, and we're good. That's the plan. So they took Dress Down. Okay, so they're planning on this game going longer than next turn. I'm gonna ponder. Endurance and Force are both good. Oh yeah, yes. Okay, I have Endurance. The Priest is 2 cards down, but I don't have a white source yet. Okay, they're just passing the turn. Alright. I like when the turn gets passed. Now I have 2 Endurances and 2 green cards. Like, Thoughtseize can't break up my disruption right now. I'm going to draw the Hate Bear, and then I'm going to Brainstorm, trying to find white land right now and get Priest in. Yes, easy money. Okay, Force of Will. I'm actually not even close to a blue card. I can keep the Flooded Strand on top, or I could just shuffle away Caracas. Yeah, Caracas and Force of Will, actually, are getting shuffled away. And I'm going to fetch Savannah with my Flooded Strand. That gives me double green for Endurance and the white for Priest. And they have to beat 2 hate cards right now. Here's Savannah. Here's Priest. Now we're on board. Okay. Oh, and I Moto bugged the Force Will back to the top without having to draw the Caracas. We love to see it. Now I can hardcast and pitchcast Endurance, and they have to get through Priest before any of that even matters. I am not in a spot yet to cast Endurance as an attacking creature. I have a blue card for Force now. Priest is gonna get this game done pretty quick. I don't know if I've specifically called it out on the channel lately, but I love Endurance. Holy shit, that card is just everything that I want on this earth. Okay, I can spend one of my Endurances to turn this 6-turn clock into a 3-turn clock. It's still a 3-turn clock if I wait a turn on Endurance, though. Oh, Teferi is pretty messed up. Okay. I am probably going to tap out for Teferi, because that gives me so much freedom to just do whatever I want. And I'm going to bounce nothing to draw a card. Yeah, now the shields are all the way up. I have double pitch thing. And they have to use discard spells, like Pact of Negation just became blank. And even if they do discard their way through my 3 pitch spells in my hand, they still need to beat Containment Priest. Haha, run afoul! What we came here for. Lotus Petal. Do they have a second Xantid Swarm? The sideboard decision came in clutch here. This run afoul was my green card for Endurance for several turns, and now it's answering Xantid Swarm. This could have been Prismatic Ending if I didn't notice that overlap right at the very end of sideboarding. It all matters. It really does. All right, now I have Cast Endurance, Pitch Force or Endurance, or Dress Down. Yeah, we're in good shape here. One thing to be aware of is that Dress Down does turn off Priest. So there's a little give and take there, but I don't think they can beat either, much less both. I think if they cast a discard spell, I just let it resolve. I'm just rolled up in 3 or 4 different directions. Cantor is in play. Okay. Resolves. Now I'm going to cast one of my Endurances and put the foot on the gas. Not that I think they can dig out of this. It's just, like, I think that my hand is so rolled up that I can afford to end the game faster. I did just realize I only have 1 blue source, so if I ponder, that takes Dress Down off the table, but hitting my land drop, does that matter? Endurance plus Force, and Priest is still in play. Yeah, I'm going to ponder. Okay. Found the blue source. Now I have Pitch Counter plus Dress Down available. Again, Wild Cantor didn't block. This is where I get ninjutsu'd. This Fallen Shinobi's coming for me. But I have that beat too. Dark Ritual resolves. Undercity Informer. Do I let that resolve? What do I do with that? Does it matter? I'll force pitching Uro. Just make sure my bases are covered. I think letting that resolves, I still beat it because I have Dress Down and Endurance to beat the Oracle and the Graveyard combo. But why mess around? My opponent gave me the GGs in the chat, and they said, thanks for the work on YouTube. Keep it up. Thank you so much, opponent. It means a lot when people say that. I will keep up the good work. Or at least the work. You can all decide if it's good, but I'll keep doing it. GGs. On to the next round. I'm the play in round 4. 4 for 4 on die rolls. Snap Keep. Island Bonder. Let's go. Maybe I'll pair against a deck that's not a combo deck. We're playing Paradox Zone here, which is built to crush fair matchups, and we're just running into 3 combo decks in a row. Maybe we can mix it up a little bit. I shuffled that Ponder. It was another Prismatic Ending in 2 lands. Prismatic Ending in lands is what my hand is already doing. I don't need more of that. Oh, Jesus. This again? Paradox Zone is not going to get a chance. It's just not going to happen. Welcome to the Moto Leagues. But they probably take Coatl because that's the only one that's even remotely relevant. Time to draw Brainstorm and suddenly produce Force blue card out of nowhere. Or Dress Down. Well, there's Uro. I should have played Windswept Teeth, just in case Swords to Plowshares bought me a turn and then I could Uro. But there is not really buying turns against. Oops, that's not really a thing. And I can still fetch basic planes, I just don't want to, usually. Right, I'll fetch my planes. If they have a Spirit Guide... Oh, wow. Why is this card in play? What the fuck? Swords to Plowshares, holy shit. What just happened? That's not supposed to happen. Okay, I guess I fetch a Savannah. Or no, Tropical Island's better. Already have white. Don't need more white. That was weird. I don't like that. I mean, I do like that, but it's also like, what the hell? Okay, I hope they just messed up real bad. And they don't just have a second wave. Okay, they shocked in another Undercity Informer. I'm going to get to point Prismatic Ending, Sorcery Speed Prismatic Ending, and an Undercity Informer. Well, this is one way to beat Oops All Spells, I guess. Force of Will. I am untapping into 5 mana. Okay. Green, blue, white. This is the part where they just now play their 4th land in Balustrade Spy, and they just had this relentless... I don't know if they were messing with me or if they're actually terrible, but that certainly worked. Jesus. Okay. I hope they are watching this video and cackling at my arrogance. Yeah, one draw step away. My top card was a blue card for this Force of Will, but it's a tough game 1. What are you going to do? Well, we've seen this before. Welcome to the Moto Leagues. Now I don't have to figure out the run of foul tech because I already know it. It's in my brain. I'm ready. Okay, 10 cards in. Paradox Zone. I'm sorry. All the Swords to Plowshares. Though against this opponent, maybe they're better than normal. And back to basics. There it is, team. 10 cards in, 10 cards out. I could cut a Sylvan Library, though on the play, I'll leave it in. On the draw, I might cut Sylvan Library for Mystical Dispute. Just something to up my blue count, because Library on the draw is not going to be great. On the play, oh, I have so much here. It needs the land, desperately needs the land. I have 1 pitch interaction spell. Oh, this is a teaser. There's 21 lands in this deck, I think. Yeah, so like 1 and 2.5 cards is a land. I'm going to keep this. Going to play my land, not going to fetch. Let's go. Land off the top. I would also accept Ponder or Brainstorm. I would also accept them shoving wildly into no protection. Well, they're going for it. There's Summoner's Pact. They're going to have to pay for that next turn. Oh, one of us is dead. There's Balustrade Spy. Okay. Resolves. I'm going to do the thing that I can do, which is evoke Endurance. If they have Pact and Negation, I'm dead. Okay. All right, they just had the turn 1 with Pact Protection. I'll give them the opportunity to fuck this up. They figured out how to target Thassa's Oracle. Okay, yeah, we just got turn 1 through Protection. That's what I was talking about in the last round, where you usually need 2 things because 1 isn't enough. We weren't drawing the land anyway. Good, we get to spare ourselves the embarrassment of keeping the 1-lander that doesn't do anything. It's the final round. We're 5 for 5 on die rolls. My opponent's name is Storm Guy Is Me. I'm going to keep this hand with 2 forces against the Storm Guy. It looks like we're not going to get to feature Paradox Zone in this league. I'm really disappointed. I was excited to try that card, but the Moto Leagues are wild. The last video I recorded, I had, I think, 2 or 3 Bant mirrors throughout the league, and here we just have 5 combo decks in a row. Sorry, Fee. And there is at least, we learn the important lesson of Paradox Zone is a tough main deck inclusion because sometimes you play against combo decks and then you just have 2 dead cards. That is an important lesson. That might be why we haven't seen it, despite the hype when it was previewed. I think Pokemoki's onto something by having them in the sideboard for when they're good, because they frequently won't be. All right, we're playing against Doomsday. All right. They are, in fact, a Storm Guy. They weren't lying. Okay, I can force pitching Coatl and force pitching Brainstorm. I think I actually want to Brainstorm in the main phase, because then if I find Ponder, though I do want to respect Daze. I'm going to Brainstorm now, though. All right, I did find Ponder, did find something I'm much happier pitching to force, which is Coatl. I did not find Dress Down or Endurance, which are the cards that I was really looking for. If you find Dress Down or Endurance, you can fight over the pile instead of over the Doomsday. It looks like they're doing a bit of sculpting. All right, cool. We may still have opportunities to fight over the pile instead of the Doomsday. Gonna Ponder. There's Paradox Zone. Should I keep it? I don't think that I can. Sorry. I'm gonna keep the Brainstorm and then play the fetch land. Thoughtseize. All right, have a look. My hand is heavy. Took Force of Will. Gonna flash in Coatl now. I'm just leaning all the way into non-basic lands. Back to Basics is actually good against Doomsday, but at this point, I'm just trying to cast my spells. Are they gonna hard cast a Daze on me right now? That looks like what's about to happen. Yeah, that's fine. Got it. I'm not gonna force a negation that. Oh! Well, okay. I'm in. Mutually assured destruction. Let's fucking go. This is a Twitter screenshot. Daze. Daze is actually kind of brutal because it gives them a land back while I have nothing. Doomsday actually doesn't play any basics. I'm paying for this Daze. Let's fucking go. Bet. Oh, this is madness. Okay, now they have to Dark Ritual out the Doomsday, and then they also have to... Alright, found a basic island. Easy game. And then post-Doomsday, they also have to put enough lands in the pile to cast Oracle, and they don't get to do any amount of cantripping or anything. I mean, LED and the Cyclers can still do stuff, but I think this Back to Basics is going to win the game. Oh, the Paradox Zone! It's almost time. If we end up winning a game with Paradox Zone against Doomsday, we're going to have to put that in the Hall of Fame. All right, they have Cavernon Wizard. They could just slam Thassa's Oracle right now and try to attack me for 18. But that is admitting that they have no other plan ever. I'm trying to wait until I find another land to cast Brainstorm, because Daze is just such a beating. It counters my spell and resets one of their lands. And I really don't want to give Daze any respect if I don't have to. All right, there we go. There we go. I'm a basic forest away from going nuts now. Dark Ritual resolves. Doomsday. Wow, fascinating. I'm going to Brainstorm in response and see what I come up with here. Brainstorm. Okay, Paradox Zone pitches to Endurance, which is worth a lot to me. Swords of Plowshares is irrelevant. And I actually want Ponder. I don't want Sylvan Library. Though, Library pitches to Paradox Zone, or Library pitches to Endurance, and Library is a good card if I shuffle away, and... Okay, fine. Shuffling away the zone. Force of negationing this. Doomsday. They're forcing me back. Okay. Their thing resolves. I am holding the Endurance. That matters. I think I fetch basic island off of this Flooded Strand, not basic plains. Just a plains is not going to help me in this game. Right, they're putting Edge of Autumn in their pile. Moto is highlighting that card for my benefit. Let's see what's in exile here. I'm looking for Force of Wills. 1, 2... Oh, Lion's Eye Diamond. That's great. Now I don't have to worry about Force of Will as much. All right, they're Deep Analysising. Can they fit a Daze into this pile? Or I have Endurance, not Force, so this is just happening. Okay, right now they have one card in their hand. If I Endurance them, they can't Daze. I just got to find the spot for my Endurance. Got to do a Force check. I started counting and then stopped. 1, 2. Wow, there's only 2 forces in exile. So there's 2 in the pile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I Endurance now, they'll have 8 cards in their deck. But they only have 1 card in hand. If it's Oracle, if it's Force, then it's not Oracle. Okay, I'm going to let this resolve. Oh, they have 2 cards in their hand. 1 card left. Evoke Endurance. This can't be Force. Oh, it's Pact. Yeah, duh. Okay. All right. I guess I should have Enduranced earlier. Yeah. Does their build only have 2 forces, or did I miscount? Did they trick me with the alternate borders? All right. Yeah, they figured it out. Okay. Blusterstorm, Mystical Dispute. back to basics, let's go. Carpet, I like. Endurance, I like. Meddling Mage is good. Surgical Extraction is mixed results. Like, if you win a fight over a Doomsday, it's insane. If you... and, like, it could sort of shuffle up a Doomsday pile, maybe, sometimes. All right, Paradox Zone, I'm sorry. Really disappointed I don't get to showcase that card. Swords of Plowshares, out. Prismatic Ending, out. Do I have more I can bring in? Veil of Summer, yeah, duh. Veil of Summer comes in. Collector Oof is not great, but also not textless. It's just like entirely medium. They're probably boarding out some number of Lotus Petals anyway, but it is probably better than Prismatic Ending. It at least pitches to Endurance, if nothing else. Okay, let's do it. I am going to keep this hand. Big fan of Veil of Summer on turn 1 and Carpet of Flowers. And I'm going to play this Windswept Heath. I'm probably fetching Tropical Island this turn, regardless. Okay, cool. They're giving me a turn. How generous. I'm going to play Carpet. I could cast Oof here, or I could wait and play around Days. I'm just going to wait. Hold up Veil of Summer for another turn. Because Oof is, like I said, not even a game ender. Thoughtseize, I'm going to Veil of Summer this. Bang. Yep, Days, no surprise there. Okay, they're probably going to take... I guess I don't know what they take. Like, how important are artifacts to their plan versus not? All right, Personal Tutoring. Doomsday's coming next turn. Time to draw a good one. That was not a good one. Take green off of Carpet. Play my land, play my Oof. At least slow down the fastest Doomsday piles, but it's still not great. They could still win next turn pretty easily. They do need Dark Ritual. Yeah, they have it. I'll tell you, when you lose to Doomsday, it feels like there's nothing you could do ever. Like, the deck is completely unbeatable. Even when you beat Doomsday, it feels like the deck is very close to unbeatable. That's just the Bant side of the matchup. That's not all the time. Some decks just absolutely clown Doomsday. Like Blue-Red Delver. But obviously that's not what we're playing. There's 3 forces in exile here. The Cavern is in exile. Oh, are they just on a Shelldock plan? If they are, I hope Caracas shows up soon. I'm going to fetch just anything I can do to thin out and get a slightly better draw step. Come on, deck, help me out. That's not it. Oh, if they can go off next turn, they win. If I get one more turn, I can hold up Force of Will. They are on a Shelldock plan. So Caracas or Back to Basics are both really good right now. Back to Basics. Sylvan Library, too slow, too late. Well, I can still cast this. And I'm holding up Force of Will. If Emrakul's under that Shelldock Isle, it doesn't matter. If they try to get cute and put an Oracle under Shelldock, then maybe there's a plan. Nope, not cute, just normal. Okay, Emrakul gets the extra turn. If I sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all my lands and Oof, then I have Sylvan Library plus Carpet of Flowers. Carpet still generates mana, but they probably just also have Oracle here, which will annihilate my ability to force the Oracle. All right, sacking all my lands. I'm at 3. Still dead to Oracle. Thoughtseize my force. Okay. Yeah, that was an absolute clowning. I had the best Back to Basics in. I have Caracas in my deck. Like, I had things I could do about Emrakul, just that hand did not line up right. Days on my Veil of Summer knocked out my counterplay, and yeah, just left me in the dust. Okay, 5 combo matchups in a row is not where Paradox Zone functions. While I don't have the time built into my recording queue to specifically replay a Paradox Zone league just because it didn't get to go off, like, unfortunately that comes with the territory of how this all works. I will try to build Paradox Zone into a deck in the near future. Like, I think the card might be reasonable enough as a sideboard plan for pair matchups, I have a number of Bant videos in the queue, or Bant X, like Dark Bant, Red Bant, 5-color Bant, etc. Yorion Bant. I will play Paradox Zone again and try to get that card going off on camera. But when you get paired against 8-cast, Painter, Oops All Spells, and Doomsday, the 5-mana enchantment that doesn't impact the board immediately is not where you want to be. Talking about the deck at large outside of the Paradox Zone, it's still Bant. I mean, I split against the 2 Oops All Spells decks. This deck has all the tools. You have 8 pitch counters plus surgical, and then if you get any mana up under you at all, dress down, all the hate bears get online. Like I do like the position of Bant, even if the meta is kind of combo-y. I don't mind the Doomsday matchup. I think we're unfavored, but only slightly, and you have the tools to beat it. The lesson learned, Paradox Zone should be in the sideboard if you're going to play it at all. Like, if your goal is to win the most matches, then Paradox Zone should be in your sideboard for fair matchups, and you should be hedging against combo in the main, because your plan A is already pretty good against fair decks. Like, Coatl slows them down, Uro grinds them out. The way Pokemoki built the deck, because Pokemoki isn't building with any stipulations, he is just building to win matches of Magic in the Legacy queues. He has Jace and Hullbreacher in these 2 slots, and that's pretty smart. That would certainly give you different angles of game. That both improves your fair matchup with Jace and improves your unfair matchup with Hullbreacher. And like, that is just a cleaner way to build the deck, but you all know what I was doing here. Bant feels good. Back to basics. Again, the Oops All Spells matchup is not really the home for back to basics, but it would have been good against the 2 artifact land decks, the 2 saga decks we played against. It did buy me a ton of time against Doomsday, and I'm not sure if I punted or if they just had me beat with I guess in the Doomsday matchup, if I had responded to Deep Analysis with Endurance, that would have bought me a couple turns, because they were hellbent at the time they cast Deep Analysis. Yeah, that would have bought me a few turns to, I don't know, find a dress down or whatever. So a Doomsday player who played really well against me, who got focused on Force of Will and forgot about Pactum Negation. The back to basics was really good there. We wouldn't have even been in a position where I was able to mess up if I didn't play back to basics, because I would have just been dead. I do like that card. I think this build of the deck is nice. It's nice being able to fetch 6 basics in a game. I have missed that. It's nice having a Coatl that actually has Death Touch. I've missed that. I'm going to wrap up this video. My apologies for the slight technical problems in the first round. Also, you know, it's not my fault, but sorry for not actually casting Paradox Zone. Disappointing. This card will return. I'll put it in a Bant deck. We'll see it ride at some point in the future. So stay tuned to this channel. Thank you, Fee, for asking me to do this. Sorry the thing didn't happen. Stick around. I will try it again. But this is what I would do with Paradox Zone, except I would have it in the sideboard. If you want to play this card, put it in the board, play a more well-rounded main deck, and then bring this in against like Death and Taxes and Bant Mirrors and stuff where it's going to actually crush. And if you get paired against 5 combo decks, leave it in your sideboard where it's not going to hurt you. That's Magic sometimes. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for future Paradox Zone experimentation, and I'll see you next time.